Hi friends, welcome to Get Your Play Online's Try It Out Tuesday. I'm Lindy, and today we're going to be doing an activity called How Do Penguins Stay Dry? If you want to follow along and do this activity at home, here are the supplies that you'll need. 2 pieces of paper, a pencil, scissors, colored pencils, and crayons. Also, a spray bottle filled with water, and then food coloring dye is optional. When we experiment with our penguins and water and how they stay dry, it will be easier to see if the water is colored from food coloring. But also, food coloring can be a little bit messy, so it's optional to use. Penguins are aquatic, flightless birds. That means they're birds that go in the water, but unlike most birds, they can't fly. They do have feathers, just like most other birds. Penguins' bodies make a wax that covers their feathers, and this wax keeps their feathers dry. Dry feathers help penguins stay warm in the very cold water they swim in. Did you know that crayons are made of wax? Let's see if we can use crayons to make a penguin that can stay nice and dry just like the penguins in the wild. Let's draw a penguin. You're going to need your piece of paper and a pencil. Draw a straight line at the bottom and then a curved shape connecting, almost like a big upside down U. Then inside the shape we just drew, let's draw a V at the top and make your line go down and around. And then let's make the flippers. Now our penguin needs feet. In the middle of our penguin towards the top, let's draw its beak. And then 2 eyes and some rosy cheeks since it's very cold where penguins live. We need 2 penguins for our activity, so let's go ahead and draw it one more time. Now that we have 2 penguin friends, let's pick out the colors for our crayons and our colored pencils. I'm going to make mine the colors that penguins usually are, black and white with an orange beak, but you can make yours any color that you would like. Let's color one of our penguin friends with crayons and the other with colored pencils. Outline your penguin in the color crayon that you chose. Go ahead and start coloring your penguin in. It's really important, especially with the crayon penguin, that we get every little spot. So we don't want to see any white underneath, and we want to make sure the color is really dark. So you can go ahead and go over it twice if you need to. Now I'm coloring my penguin's beak and feet. And finally, I'm ready to color in the middle. If you're using white like me, make sure not to forget, because the paper is already white. It's easy to forget sometimes, but it's really important that we still use the white crayon to cover up the middle. So our whole penguin is covered with crayon. Now let's pick out the colors for our colored pencil penguin. Go ahead and color in this penguin too. that our penguins are all the way colored in, it's time to cut them out with our scissors. For our activity, we're going to be spraying water onto the penguins that we just colored. To make it easier to see what the water does, let's add a drop of blue food coloring dye so it looks like cold water, just like the penguins swim in the Arctic. So 1 or 2 drops, and put the top back on, and then you're going to shake up the bottle to make sure the color gets all evenly spread out in the water. Now that we have our crayon penguin and our colored pencil penguin and our colored water in our spray bottle, we're ready to get our penguins wet. Let's start with our colored pencil penguin. I'm putting my penguin on this dish so that when I spray it with water, it won't be too messy. You could also do this in the sink or outside if it's a nice day and you have permission. Before we spray our penguin with water, let's take a guess about what you think will happen. Remember, this penguin is made with colored pencils, which don't have wax in them. So do you think this penguin will get wet, or do you think it will be able to stay dry? Let's find out. Go ahead and spray your colored pencil penguin with water. What do you notice? Is the penguin wet or dry? It looks like our paper penguin got very wet. Notice how you can see the water coming through the paper on the back, and you can even feel it. If this was a real penguin, getting wet would make our penguin very cold from the cold water that it swims in. Now we're ready to try with our crayon penguin. Since crayons are made of wax, just like the wax that covers real penguins' feathers and keeps them dry, do you think that our penguin will stay dry? Let's check it out and find out. Go ahead and spray your penguin with the water again. What do you notice? The water has beaded up on our penguin and slides right off. It doesn't look like our paper has gotten wet at all. Let's check out the back of our penguin. It looks like none of the water has come through the back, so both sides of our penguin have stayed dry. If this was a real penguin, our penguin would be nice and warm because the cold water didn't get our penguin wet. We were able to make a penguin stay dry just like they do in the wild by using wax crayons, just like the wax on a penguin's feathers. Our penguin that we colored with colored pencils and doesn't have any wax in it wasn't able to stay dry and got very wet. I had a blast testing out how penguins stay dry in the wild. I hope that you had a lot of fun today too. I would love to see a picture of how your penguins turned out, so definitely take a picture and tag Get Your Play Online. And I hope that I will see you next time on Try It Out Tuesdays for Get Your Play Online. Bye, friends!